my name is Sharyq. Welcome back to Cash Money CAD tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about basic assembly skills. Let's get started. Okay, we have Inventor loaded up. Let's create a new assembly file. By clicking Assembly, a new file will be created. Before we can do anything, let's click File, go to Options, and I already have the Assembly tab open, but you want to make sure that under that you have Place a Ground First component at origin. This will make sure that the first part you place will be pinned at the origin. So that way, in the grand scheme of your assembly, nothing is loosey-goosey, nothing can move around. I'm going to close this out because I'm all good. Now, assemblies is basically putting Lego pieces together. Now, where do we find our pieces? Well, we can use our components here. If you don't already have them, you can create from here. But we already created components in previous part tutorials. I'm going to use the one that we created in the basic part tutorial. And our first block has been placed at the origin. It's pinned. You cannot move it, rotate it, or anything. I'm going to place a second block so that we can mess with the big part of assemblies, the relationship aspect. The big one that we're going to focus on is constraints. You click on that and holy crap, there's a ton of things you can do. For now, we're going to stick with the mate type. And with the mate type, there are two solutions you can have. You can have mate, like default, and you can have flush. So what do these mean? Mate basically attaches two faces together. By example, let's zoom in on this face right here. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this. And you heard a noise, and all of a sudden, this is now glued to this plane on this part. You can't make it go behind, you can't make it go under. It's permanently on this axis. Now, you're probably wondering, what does the flush do? It does something similar, but not exactly. Basically, it takes two faces, as example, that face, and let's select this face, and it aligns them so they're flush with each other, as it implies. I'm going to apply that, and now I cannot move it even on the other axis that we were just experimenting with. I can only move it up and down on the y-axis. Now let's change that, and let's constrain it using the flush, so that way it's completely pinned. For something that can be completely pinned, it has to be pinned on all three of the axes. Another cool thing you can do with constraints is that it doesn't necessarily have to be right next to something. As example, I'm going to grab another pole with holes, place this down. Now, I'm going to constrain this using a mate. I'm going to use my view to turn around and mate it with another. Now, you probably noticed there's this text box right here. Now, what does that do? Using this, you can make a distance between the constraint. Say I want this to be 28 inches away. Now, this thing is constrained to this face, but it also has some distance with it. And that's pretty useful when you're making chassis or bases. And now this is constrained to that face, but it has a constant offset distance of 12 inches. This has been a pretty short video. With these techniques, you can make some pretty basic assemblies. The constraint tool is really powerful, as we will do more videos on this. The mate, we're going to go more into. I know we're going to go more into angle. Tangent, I don't know if we're doing too much on that. Insert, we're definitely doing a decent amount on that. And over the next few assembly tutorials, we are definitely going to be giving you a little bit of challenge to experiment. For the most part of these tutorials is that we kind of been hand-holding you. We kind of like leading you through a tutorial. We want you to start exploring and start problem solving and thinking, because in the grand scheme of doing 3D modeling, you're going to need to do a little bit of problem solving. So with these basic techniques that I've taught you and the more in-depth look at mate and flush I believe we're doing, you will be able to go head on at the new challenges that we present in the future. Thank you for watching this video. As I said before, we are going to go into more depth on the mate and flush constraints in the next few videos. Hope you have a good day. See you later.